I love anime a lot. I always have, right? When I got into anime, I would watch like 2 episodes of 4 shows every day after school, and then like binge watch the other half of whatever anime I was watching. And I was finishing like 5, 6 shows a week, basically. Proof is in the pudding. You can go back to my anime list and the like. I'm sure I have like over 500 anime or so. Not a flex, just being honest. Like, I really love this. And I loved it to the point that I started making videos, right? I started making videos about anime, about manga, about light novels, and talking seriously about topics because it's stuff I'm actually pretty passionate about. And I feel like there's plenty of people like that now. It's just there's this idea that came up in my head the other day. Back in the day, I used to be really into and get this. I used to be really into anime YouTubers. Now, maybe that seems like a silly idea, right? I mean, you guys are watching me right now, so maybe it kind of seems like a diss to say that I was into anime YouTubers. But let me take you back to 2015, 2016, right? Anime is kind of making a resurgence, I guess you could say. People are starting to get into more anime than just like Dragon Ball and Naruto and stuff like that. They're starting to follow seasonal anime. It kind of stops being this underground thing with the popularization of stuff like Crunchyroll, with a lot of manga starting to fill the stores. Anime is starting to become global, and as anime is growing exponentially, we're getting a lot more anime YouTubers, right? We're getting people like Mother's Basement, we're getting Digibro, formerly known as Digibro, now known as We Watch Anime. Even Super Eye Patch Wolf, his first video was an anime video, which is kind of crazy to think. And of course, on the more personality-driven side, we have people like Giguk, we have people like the Anime Man. Pay attention to that last part right there, the personality-driven side. We have people like Akidearest, the Anime Man, Giga, etc. People that are more so about the community and not so much about like seriously analyzing anime. But there were plenty of people back then that did seriously analyze anime and talk about anime and pump out like 3 videos a week, or maybe just 1 video a week, but they would pump out videos talking seriously about anime. It could be anime from the 80s, 90s, seasonal anime from the last season, how there was too much anime, how there wasn't enough anime, how you should respect mecha anime, how mecha anime was generic. There was just discourse going on the whole time. This is 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, something interesting happens, right? 2020, 2021, 2022, we're all inside. We're all locked into our houses. And this, funnily enough, is when anime like just soars past the stratosphere. It grows exponentially. Anime becomes globally dominant. It becomes an actually weighty soft power export, I guess you could say. If you don't know what that basically means that a lot of people begin to pay attention to anime that usually wouldn't, because it's something foreign. In America especially, if something's foreign, unless it's a fancy car, you're not really going to pay attention to it. That's just how things go. So when you get a strong cultural export like anime, people kind of are forced to acknowledge it because it's something that is popular with the kids, if you will. Anyways, I'm going off on a rant. So anime blows up 2020, 2021, 2022 when we're all kind of just trapped inside of houses. It makes sense, right? People don't know what to watch. They're running out of like Grey's Anatomy seasons. They're tired of rewatching Breaking Bad. They gotta go watch something else. They start watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. They start watching the seasonal anime because seasonal anime is still getting made, right? A lot of people are just working from home, so anime is still getting pumped out. It's not like anime it's stopping necessarily. Anime grows and grows and grows. One Piece gets as big as ever. I mean, One Piece just did a collab with the Lakers, right? Gargura, a B-tuber, was just with the Dodgers. Iron Mouse just broke, it didn't just break, but she once broke Twitch's like subscriber count thing a couple times, right? So anime is like undeniable. Everybody knows what anime is, whereas before you might have to explain it to people. But let's go back to what I said before. The thing I said about the personality-driven anime YouTubers. When people are locked in, what do they look for the most? Well, they start looking for just that. They start looking for personalities. You want somebody that feels like a friend. You want somebody that feels like they're accompanying you on these adventures, that they're having conversations with you, etc., etc. A lot of people would just go to Discord for that. But if you want content revolving around that, one, you could go watch streamers, which also blew up around that time. But you could also go watch more personality-driven content. This is when we see a big surge of like TikTok influencers, right? Because they're people that are directly answering people's questions, and they're kind of like creating discourse and the like. The anime community on TikTok also takes off from this. People like recommending anime. Here's 5 anime you should watch. Here's 5 anime you shouldn't watch. Here's this problematic anime. Here's this non-problematic anime. Here's this progressive anime. Here's this non-progressive anime, etc., etc., etc. That's like its own lane. It blew up. I'm honestly not very familiar with it, so I won't speak on it too much, but I respect it, right? But on the YouTube side, the personality-driven YouTubers are the ones that soar up, right? Again, Giguk, the anime man, Akidearist. Abroad in Japan, I suppose I wouldn't consider him anime content, but he's adjacent, right? He hangs with them. From there, I'm not sure if Trash Taste was born from this, but I know for sure Trash Taste took off around this time. Now, this would be a good thing. And I have no hate in my heart for any of these people, but it is an undeniable fact that these were not the people I watched. The people I watched would very nerdily talk about anime and the anime industry and the themes within it and Japanese society and why certain anime were shaped the way they were shaped and etc. and etc. And back in the day, when somebody did something like this, you would get conversations out of them, out of this stuff, right? If somebody that was big in the anime analysis community posted a video, whether it were controversial or not, a discussion would be born. You get people replying, whether on Twitter or on other videos, etc. It was a pretty healthy environment where we kind of like muled over certain anime over and over and over again, right? Like the videos of like hating ReZero or loving ReZero or hating Sword Art Online and hating Sword Art Online, because honestly, there's not many videos talking about loving Sword Art Online. I kind of want to do one, but again, getting a little off track. All those would just get like a meal over and turned over, and you'd get like talk about classic anime, etc., etc. I'll give you an example. Back in the day, I don't remember who did this, but there was an anime YouTuber that I would follow that just posted this short video yelling when JoJo Part 5 Golden Wind came out about how JoJo Part 5 Golden Wind looked ugly as hell. This YouTuber said that JoJo Part 5 Golden Wind looked ugly as hell, and people went crazy on Twitter, right? Because obviously the video went to Twitter, people went crazy on Twitter, and this became such a like big deal, such a big controversy that you had, again, Super Eyepatch Wolf, who is now arguably a little outside of that anime sphere and doesn't really want to be labeled as an anime YouTuber, even like including it in one of his videos. I don't remember which video it was, but that was the level of interaction, right? Like at that point, if I remember correctly, this YouTuber wasn't necessarily as big as Eyepatch Wolf, but it didn't change the fact that it was like two big anime adjacent YouTubers talking about this like just random controversy, random idea that is JoJo Part 5 Golden Wind ugly. I think it is. I'll be honest with you. I think if you compare it to JoJo Part 4, it's a little ugly. I'm sorry. The characters don't look that good. The manga looks a lot better. I'm sorry. So anyways, what's all this rambling for? Well, could that happen today? And this is a sincere question. Could this happen today? Let's think for a second. I kind of spent a couple days, I will admit not many, but I spent a couple days looking for YouTubers of this ilk that I remember watching when I was younger and looking at whether they either, one, pumped out content still, or two, were getting a lot of views. And the answer to both of them is no. A lot of the big anime YouTubers that would get views don't post as often anymore. They post once a month. They post every 2 months, every 3 months. There's some that haven't posted in 6 months, right? The ones that used to pump out content, they either move to other channels, are doing different types of content, or they're just not getting the views they used to get. And the sad part, of course, is that this is for anime analysis only, right? Like analyzing anime, coming up with the ideas about anime, basically writing essays about anime, which might sound boring, but is important in my humble opinion. Right? React content is still always going to get views, personality-driven stuff. I've seen a lot of the rise of like, I spent the day doing this in Japan. I spent 2 days doing this in Japan. Here's some anime recommendations. Here's some manga recommendations. Here's some anime recommendations. Here's some manga recommendations. And I do the same. I want to clarify, I'm not hating on anyone when I say this, but I do feel that hole, that gap of like, wow, there really isn't anyone who could just kickstart a conversation by making a video about how Sword Art Online sucks anymore. Like, that wouldn't happen. You could maybe do that on TikTok, but the conversation would be over within like a week. The conversation wouldn't span the amount of time it used to. There's so many videos about Sword Art Online from like 5 years ago you can look up right now, right? That just doesn't exist anymore. And I think that kind of content is important. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of repeating myself a bit, but the reason I think is important because would these reaction YouTubers, would these more variety focused YouTubers, these personality driven YouTubers, would they ever make a video about the importance of pad labor? right, of the OBAs or pad labor 2, would they ever make a video talking about maybe the history or the importance of pad labor? Would they make a video about like the significance of Hideaki Anno finally working with Sunrise on a Gundam series, right? Would there ever be a conversation started about Technolice? Would there ever even be a conversation started about like Serial Experiment Slain, which still has a pretty massive following? But is anybody ever going to have a big video that kickstarts a conversation amongst other people that make content about that? I'm not so sure. And this is like an old man yelling at clouds situation, because I know that if I went to TikTok again, if I went even to YouTube Shorts, there'd be a lot of these conversations happening in like the span of a day constantly. But that's not really what I'm personally looking for. I feel like what I'm looking for and kind of missing about that old anime YouTube is the community, right? Oh, this YouTuber knows this YouTuber, and this YouTuber knows this YouTuber, and there's nowhere, and you can see them comment under each other's posts, and you can see one boost the other's video analysis idea. And it was a little nerdy even back then, but it was cool, right? Without these people that used to be so passionate about anime being smart and having smart ideas and being valuable, do we have any real value in anime left? And guess what? The answer is yes, because at the end of the day, you're the one that decides like the value of anime. But I just feel like we won't get as many cool ideas about certain anime as we once did, right? And it makes me a little sad. It could just be me. Definitely, it could just be me. But, I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Did you guys watch anime back then, 2015, 2016, 18, 19? Were you into anime analysis videos back then? Did you always think they were like a little condescending? Obviously, there's some flaws. Back then, it was very male-dominated, definitely a little misogynistic and the like. Definitely very snobbish, right? People wouldn't take light novels, which I love, seriously, back then. So I'm glad, right? Like, I feel like you guys wouldn't be listening to me right now if we were in this environment. I'd be forced to make a video about Bocce the Rock and the socially end, because Bocce the Rock is actually really special because after COVID, I feel like we're all a little bit like Bocce, That's actually not a bad idea. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually a good idea. Anyways, I feel like that's all. I rambled for long enough. This was unscripted, and I don't take any meds. So if I was all over the place, well, that's why I'm cutting it off right here. I love you guys. Subscribe, I guess. Thank you. Bye.